Jesus, you are glorious.
Hey, welcome to you. My name's Ryan, I'm here with Sam, and we're chatting today about the Praise Project. What's the Praise Project?
What's the Praise Project? Great question. Yeah. We're a group of musos based out of Perth, WA, and we're looking to write songs for churches to sing. And in particular, we're trying to write songs that are overtly and distinctly God-centered in their lyrical content.
Overtly and distinctly God-centric. Yeah, that's an interesting phrase.
Yeah, it's a mouthful.
Yeah, sure. I suppose I'll share with you a little bit of my history into the project. I was there sort of early doors.
Yeah.
I remember being at a meal at this guy's place, and we're sitting around and we're chatting about the golden age of worship music we've been in, of amazing artists worldwide who are producing songs that are deeply biblical, are deeply theological, are musically brilliant, and are really stirring.
Really blessed us. Hey?
Yeah, like an amazing time to be alive.
Yeah.
And then as we were chatting, the conversation kind of turned to, I suppose, an underbelly, an underside of this that we felt, or maybe just an undeveloped part of the music scene, worship scene, was a sense that a lot of these songs were me-centric at the end of the day. The God's goodness, God's glory, God's grace, God's love was always kind of tied to something about me, that he loves me. That's what makes his love great. He's glorious to my eyes. That's what makes his glory good, and so on. I think you can fill in the gaps.
It's a question of emphasis and focus, eh?
Right. And
what are you drawing attention to?
Yeah. So it became like even lifting my eyes up to his glory, but was doing so from such an inward focus that as I walk out of a worship experience, I'm still thinking about my troubles or me, rather than taking my eyes and focus away. And as we had that meal and conversation, there was a
Great
point.
Meal too.
It was a good meal. Yeah.
You made it?
I think I made it. Yeah, sure.
Of course you did.
I'll take credit. But there was a point in the meal where I can't remember if it was me or somebody else said to you, well, why don't you fix it? Like, why don't you write some songs? Why don't you? So that was sort of my first experience into, well, there's a couple of years ago now.
Yeah, 2.5 years.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But it progressed from there. So maybe if you could share a little bit of how it's progressed.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So that night you're describing, it's probably quite a pivotal night for me in terms of going. I'm kind of ruminating on some frustrations. I can't quite put my finger on what is it about church music scene that I feel is just missing something small. I guess blessing a lot of people and doing really good things, but something just doesn't sit right with me. And maybe some of the language we formulated around being God-centered or me-centered was helpful in that. But then, someone just putting their finger on my heart and saying, I can see you're passionate about this, like, do something about it. And so I thought, I'll have a crack. At that point, I didn't consider, unlike you, I didn't consider myself a prolific songwriter or anything like that. But I thought, hey, look, I'm really passionate about this. And I believe that passion's from God, that he's put that in my heart to serve him in that way. So I had a crack at writing some songs. The first one I wrote, which I tried to write as something that's like overtly and distinctly God-centered in a lot of ways. I thought it's probably not very good.
Yeah, right.
So I shared it around with a lot of people and got some feedback that was hard to swallow. And then I was committed to sort of developing my craft and taking the long road with that. Throughout that process, I feel that God has really softened my heart, you know? Like I probably started in quite a dogmatic kind of approach of maybe a real overreaction, you know? I sense this kind of this kind of way of singing praises to God that's really inward looking, and I want to resist that, and I've overreacted so far. You get these kind of like wooden objective truth kind of songs that actually the key is in the balance somewhere. I think. So I think God's really softened my heart in that process. I often talk about Psalm 8 as a good example of this, where it kind of bookends with the majesty of the Lord fills the earth, you know? And then in the middle, there's this discussion around what is man that you are mindful of me. And I think, I guess, just to use the psalm to illustrate the point, it would be an error to look at the psalm and be like, I'm going to draw my attention to man. You know?
Like wow, man's amazing because God looks at me, right? Yeah,
And
right.
I guess that's where I worry maybe we've gone some of the time. The point of the psalm is look at the majesty of the Lord that fills the earth.
Right.
So much so that he is mindful of you. You know? And so I guess I wanted to write songs that don't necessarily exclude discussion about God's goodness to people, because the Bible's full of that. But it's in his goodness to people that he reveals something about himself, you know? So I want our songs to encourage us to look outside of ourselves and to fix our eyes on the glory of Yahweh. And I think that actually blesses us more than looking inward. So throughout the process, I've kind of softened a little bit. God's been at work in my heart. And now we've got...
so tell us a little bit of what the last, I suppose, 2 years have been like.
Yeah. Cool. So I put together a team of musos, which has been big and kind of evolving.
Sure.
We've probably had up to nearly 30 odd musos have been involved in the project. So more so if you include like choir voices and whatnot.
Okay.
But we've written 5 songs, a couple of different songwriters yourself. You wrote the best song on the EP. Let's be honest.
That's nice of you, kind. Yeah, thank you.
We've written 5 songs and we've recorded them.
Wow.
And we're getting ready to launch an EP. Our deep hope is that it would bless people. You know, we want lots of churches to sing our songs in the hope that people would, like I say, they'd be encouraged to look at the goodness and the glory of Yahweh, and that it would just stir their hearts in adoration for him. So that's kind of where we're headed. We're going to release a single on the 5th of April.
Okay,
it's called,
heard it here first.
Yeah, that's
5th of April.
5th of April. Yeah. It's called You Are, and that's the first one. So it started in like that's the first one that I wrote, and it kind of evolved a lot throughout the process of sharing it with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I think... Yeah, look. I think it's good for churches. I hope so. So it's not too hard to play. It's full of rich truth, and so I hope as we release that, I hope it blesses people, and I guess we hope that lots of churches will play our songs. That's what we're endeavoring towards. And then on the 25th of May, we're going to do a launch. So we'll get a big band together. We'll run a bit of a concert/service kind of thing. And our goal is just to try and create some awareness. Like, this is what we've been investing our time, our effort, our energy, our money. Lots of different people investing in this project. We want to create some awareness so that, in the hope that it will glorify God, that His majesty will be proclaimed in our midst, and that lots of people will be blessed and encouraged by that. You're going to be there?
I will be there. Yeah. Look, as best as I can, I'll be there. I suppose maybe the next time that you're sitting down at a meal, and you're sitting down and there's a whole bunch of things on the table, but there was one thing missing. Maybe it's a condiment, maybe it's a bit of barbecue sauce with your pulled pork, maybe it's a bit of sour cream with the nachos, whatever it is. Maybe it'll cause you to think again on the Praise Project and make you think about, I suppose, we're wanting to write songs for the gaps. We're wanting to provide something to the table, something to the diet of Christian worship that's currently not on the table, or at least maybe not as much as we would like of it. And really what we're trying to offer to you churches, this video is probably for the person who's picking songs for your church. That's who we're hoping to reach. And if you're that person, hey, we'd love for you to just have a listen. And if there's something that God has used through us, may it bless you guys. Like, our hope is that there would be more and more people who fall deeply in love with Jesus through their eyes being lifted up. And in many ways, it reminds me of that lovely old hymn, turn your eyes upon Jesus, look full in his wondrous face, and the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and his grace. So thank you so much, Sam, for giving us a bit of an overview of what the Praise Project is. And we really hope that you're able to listen along with us to the songs as they drop and come along to that album launch. So thanks, Sam.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, hope to see you guys soon.
You are slow to anger, abounding in love, gloriously patient, eager to forgive, tenderly gentle and fiercely just. Our God, truly awesome.